welcome back. So, some interesting developments yesterday, a little bit, not that interesting, but on the spiritual plane of things. So, my attachments are showing. Not that I actually have real attachment, because when you're in the light of 144,000, it is very difficult for anything to attach or possess you. However, it does happen. Attachments do happen. Everybody has attachments. This is DMGICham, by the way. I'm Carla, your host on this channel. So, I get overwhelmed sometimes with the energies, or I'm doing some heavy channeling or some important stuff that comes up, or, mission, I call it mission stuff, or sometimes like work stuff. And so I have to pull back from the channel. I literally only want to have a small channel. I'm not looking to be a big deal on YouTube or in the public eye. Just a small channel with members and followers who really do resonate. There's always going to be those that may not resonate, or maybe trolls or whatever. I understand that. It's YouTube, so it's going to be that way. But still yet, that's the idea. We are faith-based circle, and we are believers in Jesus Christ. But we're not a church. This is not, I need to stress that. This is not a church. We're not looking for profits. We're not looking to call ourselves prophets or masters, or give ourselves fancy spiritual labels or any of that stuff. Some people do. That's okay. If you have a business and a brand and that's what you do, not judging that. But it does say in scripture that we shouldn't call ourselves prophets, and what I'm shown about that is that when you call yourself a prophet or a master, you have attachments in your energy field, or you can, just by the labels, make yourself an idol, and attachments can possibly form in your life in ways you may not realize, and that may be hidden to you, but not necessarily are they harmless, or not necessarily are they powerless, and they can still affect some other people, possibly. Now, that is the reason that I do not call myself a prophet or a master. I am an earth angel. That is what the Lord himself calls me. I am a mother, I am a sister, I am a friend, I am not anyone's lover, I am a bride, and the only man that I could ever even be intimate with would be my twin flame masculine, or someone appointed to be a partner for me on my twin flame journey and anointed to do so. Right? I mean, I've been on this journey for over a decade, this twin flame journey, and I've studied it up, down, back, forth, and I have tons of experience, and this is what I've come up with, and this is how Akashica began, and this is how I gained the keys to the sacred Akash. However, at the moment, thank you, Archangel Michael, I am being shown that someone is showing up in my reality as in the form of an attachment, either because they still have attachments or I still carry some attachment energy. So let me try to explain what that means. So if there's been loss or grief or trauma, sometimes that energy can attract others who have also experienced loss and grief and trauma. Now, I seem to have attracted someone who we share, it was made clear to me when I attracted this person's energy that we attracted to each other on a path of grief. We shared, we were both grieving souls, and we found each other on the spiritual plane. But the problem is that he was sent to me. I didn't go find him. We didn't run into each other on the spiritual plane. He was being projected my way. Now, why that was happening, I do not know. Someone did that. Now, that could be, and it was a female energy who did that. And it might have been someone who showed up as a witness during my sacred walk. So I had a sacred walk since I have Native American heritage, and I was on the Red Road. I was taking sacred walk, which means that I was having a lot of spiritual journeys, a lot of spiritual missions, a lot of things like that. And so basically it's like someone saw us both on this plane of energy and said, you two should be walking together. And at the time, I did need a little extra protection on the spiritual plane. Even though I was asking for Archangel Michael's protection, still yet when you're on that red road and you're on the certain levels and you're not able to keep your vibration up for any reason, because I was under physical attack in the physical world. There was so much going on in my actual waking life and reality that was happening due to what we call targeted individuals and stuff. Some of us being targeted because of what was going on in leadership, that we were given some extra help and protection. So through that, this is what's happening to me on the spiritual plane. So I connect with this person, and it's supposed to be someone who brings safety and won't attach, or won't become an attachment. If it starts to become an attachment, there's intervention because our contract is not with each other. And that's basically what's happened now, is that connection has reached its end and needs to be dealt with by the divine himself and through cooperation and surrender, so that both parties can separate their energies and not form any other attachments or have any experiences that take us down into lower level. And last night, it was so that Michael shined a light on things so that I could see in the dream realm that this connection was with me due to grief from the loss of a loved one and the loss of a relationship with someone who I shared a child with. Let's just put it that way. So, two very deep, close, personal connections from the past, and the person who's basically he's playing a conduit for me, but it's in the spirit. It's on the spiritual plane. That's what it seems like. And so as he went to play out that role as conduit, he threw some shade my way. I was in an apartment that wasn't really mine. It looked like my ex-mother-in-law's apartment. There were a lot of people over the years trying to push me into using the occult tools and things like that, knowing that I had spiritual gifts. There was even some people that used those things to try and peer into my life, and those things can bring attachment. That can be seen as witchcraft attack. And there was also probably people who did real spells and witchcraft attacks too. So all of that can be a problem. It can be a real problem. But in order for it not to be a problem, we have to be in surrender, and we have to work with the archangelic realm, and we have to be willing to take that journey. And if you're like me and you were on and you had chosen a sacred walk like the Red Road or something, and you want to get off of a journey like that, even more so, you might have to go into surrender. And it's very frustrating. So we have frustration, just keeps coming up. There's frustration. For me, it's for these reasons right now, at the moment. So I sat down last night to do some meditation and some prayer, and I do the Lord's Prayer, and I meditate on the Lord's image. And it doesn't have to be the same image I use here in the group. It doesn't even have to be, it can be the faces of your children. It can be your own face. It can be the Lord's face, but you're doing it in prayer. You've said the Lord's Prayer, and you're doing it in the light, and you're working with these angelic energies, and then you can meditate on the image. Now, I like to use the Lord himself in his image. I mean, technically, this is considered an image of God. It's not the Lord himself. But you could meditate on these things if you have spiritual photos. But anyway, so meditating on his image instead of like meditating on a crucifix or meditating on symbols or images like we're shown in the New Age. Some of that sacred geometry is not so bad if it's of the light, but he doesn't like the symbols and stuff like that, especially not for the sacred feminine. So I was doing that, and here comes this Rick Renner thing. I've been seeing this channel. I liked what they were talking about as far as like religion and spirituality, because we do have a lot of religious people that come in and around the circle a lot. But now he showed up last night right when I was doing a communion with the Lord, saying you're about to come into communion, but you're not worthy. So I don't know who that was for. But the Lord was talking to me at the same time about about the collarbone, his broken clavicle. Now, this is important. There's something about that. I wasn't shown really right away what it was, though. I used to have an aching clavicle for no reason. Every now and then it would ache. It doesn't do that anymore, but that happened to me for years. So I don't know what was up with that, but lately, whenever I meditate on his image, he has a lot to show me about the attachments around me. That's why meditating on image is so powerful. So if you meditate on like your children's faces, or you want to also have the Lord present. Like say you have the Bible out in front of you and you have your religion, your Jesus photos and what have you. It could be a drawing of Jesus, any type of image of his face or of him. And then you're also maybe like looking at your family photos or a photo of yourself, or also maybe like a mirror to look into your own image. He may start to show you what's attached or trying to attach to you or even your children. So that's what's happening to me. He's showing me where there is things that just need to go. That they don't, they're not part of my future. They shouldn't be a part of my reality. But then he's also saying there's no easy way out, There's no easy way to do this. When there's attachment energy, it's usually a process, and it can be very painful and frustrating to deal with attachment energy. So this energy that attached to me, specifically me, sees me as someone they lost. And then I also see some of my loss in them. So for whatever reason, we were able to be each other's conduit. But the time is up now. It's time to move on from that. It's time to grow from that. It's, can't hold hands forever, because you can't hold hands with the devil while walking with the Lord. Eventually, whatever it is that's lower level has to go. Even if it's innocent and it's coming from grief or whatever, you can't stay in grief forever, We've done as much transmuting of lower energies as we can do at this point, and we need to be in surrender and just give this to God, because my true twin flame masculine is rising up. It's coming into the picture. And when we're on the twin flame journey, like I've been saying, sometimes you're not each other's twin flame, and that's just all there is to it. You just need to face the facts. So, and then again, maybe you are each other's twin flame, but you have to get through these healing processes and deal with these attachment energies or these kinks. I call them kinks. Sometimes I call them that. Frustration is often a sign that you're growing. I'm not getting anger as much, just frustration. I woke up just itching all over my body, and I do that when there's I know it sounds weird, but I'm sensitive anyway, but I do that when there's masculine energy around me that I don't want around me. I'm sacred feminine, so I like to stay in my own feminine energy a lot, and I only like to share my energy with my twin flame. But I haven't been able to do that because we were in such a long separation, and because I was doing the mission work, I was on that red road for so long. I'm not fully off of the red road. I'm still a member of that red road journey in some way. So there's injustice, anger, and anxiety. Okay, so there's still a lot of heavy energy to deal with right here. So we're just going to have to, the only thing I know that helps this is to work with the Lord and to work with the Archangel Michael, to commune with the Archangel Michael. And I do think that we